So, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another.
Amen.
Proverbs 27:17. And John 15:13 says, "Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends." And then Proverbs 18:24, "A man who has friends must himself be friendly, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother."
Amen. That's right.
Amen. So today, I just want us to think together about yet another aspect of true friendship, as our passage here tells us that a true friend is one who builds you up. They'll try to help you become a better person. How will a good friend do so? Don't let me forget those. Actually, it's okay if I do. A true friend encourages you. Right? A true friend will help you do what you have to do. They will seek to bring support to you.
That's right.
They won't just support you, and I think it's pretty easy to support one another. It's really easy to support a neighbor. It's really easy to support, someone who you've just met or a stranger. But to seek to support someone. All right, buddy.
Oh my God.
Each of us has times in our lives when things come upon us that we wouldn't choose to go through. But we nevertheless, fortunately or unfortunately, find ourselves that we are going through it, right? It's times like that we need true friends. True friends who will encourage us and help us do what we have to do by supporting us in the midst of it all. Oftentimes this doesn't even require us to say anything. It is simply enough that we're just there, that someone showed up. I think of us as our little family that we have here, that, when winter comes, without thought comes to it, we go and we support others with firewood, or with clothing, or means, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of scenarios I think of us as our family, and our family, obviously, I mean us, that are here, not just our immediate family, but we go and just be with that someone, or be near someone, to be that true friendship, or to be there to support them, because we are seeking it. We try to go and do that. But I always wonder and see, outside of our family or our little group that we're in when we're out separated, how much are we seeking to go and be that true friendship to someone, maybe someone who we don't know, or someone that we do know. So a young boy was sent to the corner store by his mother to buy a loaf of bread. This is obviously old times. He was gone much longer than it should have taken him. When he finally returned, his mother asked, "Where have you been? I've been worried sick about you." "Well," he answered, "there was a little boy by the side of the road with a broken bicycle who was crying, so I stopped to help him." So his mom says, "I didn't know you knew anything about bicycles." And he says, "I don't. I just stayed there and cried with him." Encouragement means coming alongside to impact them by encouraging them, to be just even being with them and in their presence. This is what a true friend does for us when we find ourselves facing things that we have to go through, whether we like it or not. They come alongside us to lend support to us. Sorry, he's a very easy distraction. I love it. A newspaper in England gave a reward for the best definition of a friend. Anybody here have a really good definition of a friend? Okay. So thousands had answered. What's that?
Bring it on.
Oh, I thought you said Joe. I was like, well, that's close.
Oh.
It's close.
Next to friend, there's Joe's picture in the dictionary.
Wow.
Just like in Genesis.
Have you read Genesis 36:9? But thousands had answered this newspaper calling, and the winning entry was this: "A friend is one that comes when everyone else goes."
Come on, I like that.
It's simple,
That's right.
but it's so true. A true friend encourages you. Second thing, a true friend exhorts you. A true friend will help you do what you ought to do. They will seek to bring strength to you. Sorry, babe. Other times in life we find ourselves facing things we'd really rather not have to deal with, but which we know we ought to deal with. Things that we may not feel we have the strength to face, but unfortunately or fortunately, we need to face them.
You're so funny. Lisa, I made you look an hour. It's fine. I'm good. Okay.
It is at such times that a true friend shows his or her true colors. I'm sure we can all experience this. That when the time comes where you really are in need of a friend, let's say, like, not to pull out Alex in this instance, but Alex, who quietly is seeking a true friendship, which he has in Marissa. But in the times that he's needing someone to encourage him some strength and bring strength to him, to exhort him, he wants it and he may seek it and may or may not ask for it, but it's in those times when he's dealing with something that's very, very challenging, and we've all been there, but someone may be there or someone may not be there. Marissa, I'm proud of you for being there on just let him cry out to you and listen to him. That's huge. A true friend will seek to strengthen you, so you ought to tackle those difficult things in life that you know you ought to, but cannot somehow find the strength to do so on your own. General Grant had a man who was a true friend to him like this. His name was John Rawlins. Has anybody ever heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. He was the general's chief of staff. It was to Rawlins that Grant gave his pledge that he would abstain from alcohol. When he broke his pledge, Rawlins went to Grant and with great earnestness pleaded with him and successfully persuaded him to refrain his commitment of turning away from liquor. And today, in front of the Capitol building in D.C., stands a monument to General Grant, sitting on his horse in a dramatic pose. Has everyone seen that?
Yeah.
Close? No? It looked just like Nikki doing that pose like that. There you go. Very similar. In the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue, and a little bit to the south, is Rollins Park, where there's another statue, a very ordinary, commonplace-looking statue of John A. Rawlins, the man responsible for keeping General Grant from falling off his horse, literally and figuratively. So, see if you got that. Nikki was like, Dealing with the crippling effects of alcohol abuse in his life was something that Mr. Grant knew he ought to do, but couldn't find the strength to do it on his own. But a true friend named John Rawlins came through alongside to exhort him and help him find the strength he needed to do for what he ought to do. And not only was Grant better for it, but in the long run, so was the nation.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
He's learning to talk, as you can hear. It's entertaining. A friend is someone who tells me the truth about me.
That's right. Come on.
I want to know when my work stinks, or I'm being hurtful, or being rude. I expect my friends to save me from myself. Proverbs 21:6. Faithful are the wounds of a friend. A true friend tells you what you ought to know and then helps you do what you ought to do to correct it. A true friend exhorts you. And I think of Kelsey in this in a lot of ways, is that she exhorts her friend, who can remain nameless or whatever, but when she is down on herself or down on life or down on things, and she knows she needs to do something better, Kelsey's right there to encourage her and to bring out the best in her when not many people can. A true friend will exhort you. Number 3, a true friend empowers you. A true friend will help you do what you need to do. They will seek to bring success to you. So I struggle with this a little bit as I do Lyft, as you know, with Nate. Nate does it in his car, I do it in my car. And we sometimes will encourage each other, like, oh, I hope you have a good night, I hope you have a good night. Hey, I hope you had a good fare, and that sort of thing. But deep down, we're both like, oh, you had a larger fare than I had? You know, we have that competitiveness that gets at us. And we talk, because we call each other between each ride, and we try to encourage each other to stay awake, just to stay safe and what have you. But there's a little piece of us that wants success to go to that person, but then we also want the success to come to ourselves. But
mine is more.
right, I want you to have a great night as long as I'm better. You should hear some of our conversations; it's entertaining. But we all have things in our lives that we need to be addressed in order that we might be the success that God has in mind for us to be. Often it will involve life change or character development. And a true friend will help us in that. Back in the 15th century, in a little tiny village near Nuchenburg, lived a family with 18 children. 18 children. To keep food on the table, the father, a goldsmith by profession, worked almost 18 hours a day at his trade and any other paying chore he could find in the neighborhood. Despite their seemingly hopeless condition, 2 of the children had a dream. They both wanted to pursue their talent for art. But they knew fully well that their father would never be financially able to send either of them to Nuremberg to study at the academy. And then after many, many discussions, the 2 boys finally worked out a pact. They would toss a coin. Yes, they would toss a coin like that. The loser would go down into nearby mines and with his earnings support his brother while he attended the academy. Then when that brother who won the toss completed his studies, he would then support the other brother while he attended school. These are 2 children who both wanted the same thing, but in true friendship saw that they could still help each other out, right? They tossed the coin, and Albrecht won the toss and went off to Nuremberg. Albrecht went down into the mines, and for the next 4 years financed his brother, whose work at the academy was almost an immediate sensation. By the time he graduated, he was beginning to earn considerable fees for his commissioned works. When he went back to his village, the family held a festive dinner to celebrate his triumphant homecoming. After the meal, Albrecht rose to drink a toast to his beloved brother for the years of sacrifice that had enabled Albrecht to fulfill his ambition. His closing words were, "And now, Albrecht, blessed brother of mine, it is your turn. Now you can go to Nuremberg to pursue your dream, and I will take care of you." Albrecht rose and said softly, "No, brother, I cannot go to Nuremberg. It is too late for me. Look what 4 years in the mines have done to my hands. The bones in every finger have been smashed at least once, and lately I have been suffering from arthritis so badly in my right hand that I cannot even hold a glass to return your toast, much less make delicate lines with a pen or a brush. No, brother, for me it is too late." More than 450 years have passed. By now, Albrecht Dührer's hundreds of masterful paintings and portraits hung in every great museum in the world. But the odds are great that you, like most people, are familiar with only one of them. You may very well have a reproduction version hanging in your home or your office. To pay homage to Albrecht for all that he had sacrificed, his brother drew his brother's hands and with palms together and fingers stretch skyward. Got a picture of that? Called a powerful giant called Hands. So anyone ever seen that painting or that picture? But the world has renamed his tribute of love the praying hands. I recommend you looking it up. It is a tribute to true friendship, a love that is willing to do whatever is required to see another succeed. So if you look up praying hands, you'll find the picture there. If you look up just hands, you won't. You'll have to dig down probably the 4th or 5th page in Google. But this is the very best way to love. Put your life on the line for your friends. That's from John 15:13, as we read. It is your desire to have a friend like that? If so, then be that kind of friend. Seek to relate to others in your life in such a way that you bring support, strength, and success to them. Charlie Brown. Has anyone ever heard of Charlie Brown?
Nope.
Never.
Love Charlie Brown. Kelsey's sister, I don't think, had seen the Charlie Brown Christmas until Christmas Eve. Yes. Well, we wrapped Christmas gifts. We got to watch it. But Charlie Brown asked Linus, what would you do if you felt that nobody liked you? It's a tough question to ask your friend, right? So Linus responded, well, Charlie Brown, I guess I would take a real hard look at myself. Ask if I am doing anything that turns people off. How can I improve myself? Do I need to change in some way? Yep, that's my answer, Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown then says, I hate that answer.
I know those people.
You may hate Linus's answer too, but it is also God's answer. If I am to have friends, I must be a friend. Do you remember the song, Friends Are Friends Forever? I know
But I
Miss
sing it
Rebecca
first.
has.
I don't know it.
Yeah, you
Do it. Remind me.
don't ask him to
I
sing
don't
it.
know what it is either.
It's the last song from Faith Day last year. Michael W. Smith.
Michael W. Smith sang.
Oh, the one that you guys.
And I
Put
bet-
that on.
I bet Mr. Jason on and I won the bet because I said that he would play it.
To that whole Mike W. Smith
I was reading
the entire time.
They Got Tan.
I went out to find a friend, but could not find one there. I went out to be a friend, and friends were everywhere. Who do you know who needs you to be a true friend to them today? Someone who needs your support to help them do what they have to do. Someone who needs your strength to help them do what they ought to do. And someone who needs to be helped to succeed by doing what they ought to do.